He never thought a blind date could change his life, let alone his daughter's. Yet, as the little girl smiled at the kind waitress who quietly slid a plate of fries toward her before taking her father's order, something inside the single dad shifted. He didn't know her name yet, but he felt it. A quiet warmth. The kind you feel when someone touches your heart without even trying. It was supposed to be just another Sunday evening, another awkward dinner arranged by his business partner who insisted that a man like him shouldn't be alone. Daniel Carter, the young CEO of a thriving tech company, had agreed only because his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, wouldn't stop asking him why all the princesses in her storybooks had moms. He wasn't looking for love. He didn't have time for it. His world revolved around board meetings, deadlines, and the tiny girl whose smile was his reason to keep going. The restaurant buzzed softly with laughter and clinking glasses. Daniel adjusted his tie, checked his watch, and looked down at Lily, who was coloring on the paper placemat with crayons the hostess had given her. He'd told his assistant to make the reservation under a fake name, just in case anyone from the media spotted them. Being a CEO came with its own kind of loneliness. People either feared you or wanted something from you. Across the restaurant, a young waitress moved between tables with tired but gentle grace. Her name was Emma. Her hair was tucked loosely into a bun, and her apron was faded from too many shifts. She'd worked since morning, her feet aching, but her smile never faltered. She noticed the little girl sitting alone with her father, and something in that scene tugged at her heart. Maybe it was because she'd grown up without a dad, or maybe it was because the child reminded her of her younger self, quiet, bright-eyed, and endlessly curious. When she approached their table, Daniel looked up politely. "Good evening. Can I start you off with something to drink?" Before Daniel could answer, Lily looked up with a wide grin. "I'm hungry." Emma chuckled softly. "Well, we can't have that, can we? I'll bring you something quick to nibble on, sweetheart." Daniel opened his mouth to protest. He hadn't even looked at the menu yet, but Emma had already walked off. Minutes later, she returned with a small plate of fries and a chocolate milkshake. She knelt down beside Lily and whispered, "Don't tell anyone I did this before the order, okay? It's our little secret." Lily giggled, her tiny hands grabbing a fry. Daniel blinked, slightly stunned. No one had spoken to his daughter with such warmth since his late wife passed away 3 years ago. Most people treated Lily as an extension of him, something fragile, or worse, something to impress. But this woman, she just saw a little girl who was hungry. As the evening went on, Daniel's supposed date sent a message she wasn't coming. "Business emergency," she said. Daniel didn't care. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel like a CEO or a widower. He just felt like a dad, sitting in a small restaurant, watching his daughter laugh. Emma checked on them often, chatting with Lily and occasionally stealing glances at Daniel. He was handsome in a quiet, tired way. Not the kind of man who flaunted wealth. His suit was simple but expensive, his eyes focused yet gentle. She could tell he carried something heavy, a loss maybe, but the way he looked at his daughter told her everything she needed to know about the kind of man he was. When the bill came, Daniel noticed Emma had only charged half. He frowned. "Excuse me, you forgot to add some items." She smiled shyly. "No mistake. Your little one's meal is on me. She made my day." He hesitated, trying to find words. "That's very kind of you. You didn't have to." Emma shrugged. "Maybe not. But sometimes kindness is what we all need most." For a man who'd spent years surrounded by deals, profits, and polite pretenses, her words hit deeper than he expected. That night, as Daniel carried his sleepy daughter to the car, she mumbled, "Daddy, I like the nice lady. She's like Mommy." He froze. The weight of that sentence pressed hard against his chest. He looked back toward the restaurant window and saw Emma clearing a table, her hair falling loose, smiling faintly. For the first time in years, something fragile but real stirred inside him, hope of the next week. Daniel couldn't shake her from his mind. Every spreadsheet blurred with her image, every meeting faded beneath the memory of that gentle voice. He told himself it was silly. She was a waitress. He was a CEO. 2 different worlds. Yet Lily wouldn't stop talking about Miss Emma either. So, he did something he hadn't done in years. He returned to the restaurant. This time, he wore jeans, not a suit. He wanted to be just a dad, not the man people bowed to. When Emma saw him walk in with Lily, her surprise quickly softened into a smile. "You again," she said playfully. "Did someone forget their fries?" Lily giggled. "Daddy said we can eat with you today." Daniel's face reddened slightly. "Only if you're not too busy," he said. Emma hesitated. Her manager was watching. But then she saw Lily's hopeful face and nodded. "Give me 10 minutes. That 10 minutes turned into an hour. Then 2. They talked, really talked. About life, about loss, about dreams they'd buried beneath responsibility. Emma confessed she'd given up college to care for her younger brother after their parents died. Daniel admitted he'd stopped believing he could feel anything beyond duty and grief. The connection between them was unspoken but undeniable. Not fiery or dramatic, just pure, quiet understanding. Lily fell asleep in the booth beside them, her tiny hand resting on Emma's arm. Daniel's gaze softened. "She doesn't let anyone close like that," he said quietly. Emma looked at the sleeping girl, her eyes glistening. "Maybe she feels safe." Weeks passed. Daniel kept visiting, always with Lily, always leaving lighter than before. He learned that love didn't have to be grand gestures. It could be a shared laugh over spilled ice cream, or a kind waitress who remembered your daughter's favorite milkshake flavor. One evening, as rain drummed softly outside the restaurant, Daniel finally asked, "Emma, what if I told you that I'm not who you think I am?" She frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" "I'm Daniel Carter, CEO of Carter Tech." Her eyes widened. "Wait, the Daniel Carter? The one on the magazine covers?" He nodded. "I didn't want you to see that side first. I just wanted to be me." Emma was quiet for a long moment, then smiled softly. "I don't care what you own, Daniel. I care about who you are when you're sitting here, when you're helping Lily with her crayons or pretending not to like extra whipped cream." He laughed, relief flooding his chest. In that moment, everything felt simple again. Months later, the same restaurant hosted a private dinner, candles, soft music, and laughter echoing through the space. Daniel stood, holding Lily's hand as she beamed at Emma across the table. "Daddy says families are built by hearts, not blood," Lily said proudly. Emma knelt down, tears glimmering. "That's the smartest thing I've ever heard." Daniel smiled, his voice low but certain. "You fed my daughter before you even knew her name, and somehow, you fed a part of me I thought was gone forever." As he took her hand, the little girl squealed with joy, clapping her hands, and in that small restaurant, beneath the golden light and scent of coffee and rain, 3 hearts, once broken and lonely, finally found home in one another.